From MTN, the Montana Television Network, this is Face the State.
Well, good morning and welcome to Face the State here on the Montana Television Network. Hope your week is off to a good start. And we're pleased and honored to have as our guest this morning, Jim Clark, the President and CEO of the Boys and Girls Clubs of America, who just happens to be visiting Montana this month. Jim, thanks for being here. Pleasure meeting you today.
Well, good morning. It's great to be with you. Thanks for having me.
Just a little bit of Jim's background for you, if you're just hearing about Jim Clark for the first time. He took over as President and CEO of the Boys and Girls Clubs of America back in January of 2012. Prior to that, he had a long career with the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel, so a little bit of journalism and business in your background. And you were the leader of the Boys and Girls Club of Greater Milwaukee for 6 years. So how did you end up in that position, Jim?
Well, it's kind of a simple equation when I think about it. Early on in my life and business career, it was evident that our future workforce was going to be the kids and youth of today. And so it was important to me that we did anything and everything I could to develop that group of kids and teens that was going to be coming up into our workforce. So there was a natural affinity to the Boys and Girls Club and the work that was being done in Milwaukee. Quickly became part of my bloodstream and certainly a passion for helping youth really who need us most in that community, and with the eye on the future that this was going to be our workforce. So really an important equation. So it started out in a volunteer situation, and then quickly the opportunity presented itself to marry my passion with the profession and be the leader of that organization. And then about 8 years later, the national organization said, we're going through a transition, a retirement. We'd like to talk to you. So that was the progression and the next step, and couldn't have been a bigger honor in my life and privilege to now across America help communities, organizations, clubs, and certainly kids and families grow and develop to become great citizens in our country.
Well, we're excited to have you here in Montana this week so you can share some of your passion with the people across the state.
Sure.
The Boys and Girls Clubs have a fairly large footprint in Montana, but tell us nationally, for people that are maybe hearing about the Boys and Girls Clubs for the first time, what the organization is all about.
You bet. If you look at Boys and Girls Clubs of America today, there's 4,300 separate clubhouses across the country and around the globe on military bases. We're on every military base in the world that has families living on it. We're also the largest provider of services on Native American lands in the country today. We're in public housing, we're in schools, attached to schools or inside part of schools. We serve roughly 4 million youth every year that come through those 4,300 locations. It is, and we've been growing over the past several years when it comes to the number of youth that come through our doors every day, to the number of members that we have. We're school-aged, so basically kindergarten through high school, through senior and high school. And our model is facility-based and with a paid professional staff that provides continuity and consistency in the lives of kids. We're not a school, and certainly we're not home, but we bridge that gap between school and home and augment some of the things that perhaps are or aren't happening in other parts of youth's lives today. Our model's preventative in nature, but certainly through the work that we do, we get involved in intervention as well. We focus on 3 core areas of academic success, good character and citizenship, and healthy lifestyles, and it's all about creating great futures for youth in America.
The Boys and Girls Club have a big footprint across America, as you mentioned. What you said, 4,300 clubs, 4 million kids in all 50 states, and it all comes down to providing that niche that isn't really being filled now, where the kids get out of school, parents are working, in many cases working 2 jobs, 2 or 3 jobs, and it's people refer to that as the latchkey kids, but this need was perceived, and Boys and Girls Club stepped right in and said, this is our baby.
Yeah. So if you think about Boys and Girls Clubs, we've been part of the fabric of America for 157 years. The first club was 1860 in Hartford, Connecticut. The national organization has been in place for 107 years. So when you look at the mission and our model, it's absolutely critical, especially in today's society, to your point about kids and teens that have nowhere to go after school. That number is actually 11 million kids in this country have nowhere to go after school. And it goes up to 43 million during the summer, during the day, where kids have nowhere to go during the day in summer. And you're right, parents are working, and in many cases, it's a single parent household. And that's true right here in the Billings, Montana area as well. When you look at it, there's about 43% of the kids and teens that come to the Boys and Girls Club here are coming from single parent households. That's almost double the national average across America. So it points to me really quickly to the need here in Billings and the surrounding area, but also across the country. We talk about kids who need us most as part of our mission, which is certainly what our focus is on. And again, today more than ever, roughly 50% of all kids in America going to public schools today are on what we call free or reduced lunch. That number is about the same here in Billings as well. And then we look at poverty. And you know, poverty is a pretty low bar when it comes to income. It's basically $25,000 household income for a family of 4. So, you know, subsistency at best. You look at the level of poverty, whether it's across the country, almost 20% of kids live in poverty. Here, it's almost double the number of kids. 35% of kids coming to the Boys and Girls Clubs are coming from low income or poverty. So it really points to the critical need Boys and Girls Clubs have today, and certainly the need in this country that's also not being fully met because so many kids, as you point out, have nowhere to go.
The Boys and Girls Clubs has evolved over the years. Originally it was the Boys Club, and then they added girls with it. That was fairly controversial. But now there are many organizations providing services for families and kids. But the Boys and Girls Club has kind of established themselves as a leader in this area. And your national prominence, I know the baseball playoffs are going on right now, and Boys and Girls Club and Major League Baseball are a big partnership. And we've also been, I say we, and under full disclosure, I have to tell you that I have been a member of the board here in Billings on the Boys and Girls Club for over a dozen years. I've kind of lost track. But so I've been involved in the movement and seen the difference in the lives that it saves. But certainly what I was going to get at is we've been blessed, the Boys and Girls Club, into having some very high-profile people who really owe their success to their beginnings with the Boys and Girls Club. Denzel Washington, Shaq. Just to mention two of the biggest names and faces on the cover.
And the list goes on. And Denzel Washington is our national spokesperson and is a member of our national board of governors as well. And he's been part of our national family for 25 years, supporting not only the work that we do, but also telling the story. He grew up at a Boys and Girls Club, Mount Vernon, New York. And as a young person, if he were here telling you the story, he would talk about his friends who drifted from the Boys and Girls Clubs, and some of them are not with us any longer. And then he talks about the caring professional, that adult that took the time to not only be his mentor, but his coach, his counselor, his trusted advisor, if you will, and basically said, you can be anything that you want to be, and you can do anything that you want to do. And it's those kinds of words of encouragement, inspiration, recognition that live with us today, and certainly what we convey to youth that are coming to Boys and Girls Clubs. And we are blessed to have great partnerships as well. Major League Baseball has been with us for 22 years.
Wow.
And in fact, their partnership is growing in recent history. So we're excited, certainly with the World Series. You'll see Boys and Girls Club behind home plate. But you'll see it in every baseball park across the country. And certainly Alex Rodriguez grew up in the Boys and Girls Clubs in Miami. So many other great players, baseball and otherwise, have grown up in Boys and Girls Clubs and give back today. So we're blessed to have those celebrities, but also business people that have been part of Boys and Girls Clubs. And you know, they're a great role model. Not everybody's going to grow up to be a sports hero, celebrity, but when business leaders come forward and talk about their experience at a Boys and Girls Club and how they grew up to end up running a company or being a successful local business person, that also provides a pathway for youth, kids, and teens today.
Tell us a little bit about, as you look at the Boys and Girls Club, because you mentioned we're not a school, it's not a school, but academic success is a big part of our mission.
Right. So, you look at the three areas: academic success, good character and citizenship, and healthy lifestyles. This is all around positive youth development. So we're holistic when we think about the work that we do. It's about the whole child, the whole youth, and how do we develop them to become great citizens in communities and certainly in our country. So when we think about academic success, it is all about graduating from high school. So if you look at our vision, it's real simple, that every child who comes through our doors is on track to graduate from high school. So we spend time tracking that and design programs to help kids and teens stay on track to graduate from high school. For example, one of the biggest challenges kids have today, especially those coming from economically challenged households, is the learning that they lose during the summer months, summer learning loss. So we have a summer learning loss prevention program that is evidence-based, certified, and kids that participated in it don't lose during the summer months in reading and math. When you think about it today, kids get about the same dose during the school year of math and reading. What happens is some kids lose ground in the summer because they don't have the access to the same experiences and opportunities that other kids do. That's where we fill in. So we make up for some of that space that perhaps they're not getting somewhere else.
Which is kind of an extension of the Boys and Girls Club, which originally kind of started as an after-school program. Right. Now it's after, there's no after. It's continuing throughout the child's life as they progress up through high school.
That's right. I mean, this is a pathway. It's a journey on a pathway, and success comes in many different ways, and certainly kids and teens come to us at different times. But what we do know is the longer they're with us, the better the result. The actual outcomes they derive by being a member of the Boys and Girls Clubs are better than that of their peers. Whether it's health, they get more physical fitness, 60 minutes of physical fitness a day than their peers do. When they have a great experience at a Boys and Girls Club, teens get more A's and B's in school than their peers do. So, we're able to demonstrate and illustrate the true outcomes in the lives of Boys and Girls Club members and how that compares to other kids. So we know that the programs work, but again, what I think is most important is that relationship with the adult professional, youth development professional, and the relationship they build with that youth, trusting relationship that helps them and guides them on that journey and that pathway in life.
And I know, speaking from our experience here in Billings, that's one of the toughest things, is getting great staff people and hanging on to them and making sure that they share the same mission that the National Boys and Girls Club does, that the local club. But is that, I imagine, a challenge all across in every club, the staff and keeping good people, just like it is in this business and every other business?
Well, it is, and as I said, our model is built on staff. There's 60,000 youth development professionals in our system, part-time and full-time. And it all revolves around the competency of that staff person. It starts with the leader, and you have a great leader right here in Billings, and Brian Dennis, who
yes, we do.
Certainly epitomizes and serves as an example for all when it comes to leadership, and a CEO of a Boys and Girls Club. This is a perfect example, and when you have a great leader, they inspire and bring great people to the organization that tend to stay. Another thing that we encourage, and certainly Brian has done here, is bring staff up through your system. Some have been kids that have gone to the club, then junior staff, part-time, and then going on to college, and then coming back and becoming a full-time professional in the organization. So we do grow our own, which is obviously the best when it comes to the success stories, and Brian's done a great job of that here. But, again, if you have a great leader, great board, by the way, too. It's a simple recipe. You have a great organization.
If you're just joining us here on Face the State this morning, Jim Clark, the president and CEO of the Boys and Girls Clubs of America, is our guest for the full half hour, and he's sharing the success story of the Boys and Girls Club nationally and here locally. We mentioned in Montana, 14 different organizations, all in Indian reservations. We're looking to expand. But when someone comes to you and say, Havre needs a Boys and Girls Club, how's that process work? Because I can see some viewers out there going, gee, our school could use a club. How do they go about walking that line?
Well, it's a great question, and our success over decades and over a century has really been focused on the local community. And so it has to be an organic, community-driven proposition. Certainly our teams
Bottom up
nationally,
versus top down.
Yep, and our teams nationally work with every constituent or community when it comes to if they're interested in a Boys and Girls Club, and bringing together community leaders, a blue ribbon task force to really do the assessment and to do their due diligence around what does it take, what are the facilities that you need, what's the staff you need, what's the operating budget that you need, and it's got to come from the community. And if the community isn't invested and take ownership in it, it usually doesn't work. So our success story has been built on that, on community-based, community-driven Boys and Girls Clubs. And it's worked because today there's 4,300 of them across the country. Certainly there's additional clubs every year. We added about 80 last year. We'll probably add close to the same number this year. But it's all driven from the community or the expansion of existing organizations. So I would encourage your viewers to, if they're hearing this and they are interested, go right to the website or just hit Google and Boys and Girls Clubs locally in Billings, and you'll come up with the Yellowstone Club here. And you can contact Brian Dennis, and he'll be happy to talk to you or get you connected with our national team if they're outside of the area.
One thing here in Billings where we have 5 clubhouses, the model changed a little bit in the past. I was on the board when one of our schools came to the board, Lockwood School, and said, we want a club. And we said, gee, we are having trouble even raising the money for one club. But anyway, this school district came to us and said, we'll give you the building, we'll give you the space, we'll help you with whatever you need. Lo and behold, that kind of sparked a whole new model, not only here, but is being patterned all across the country.
That's right. And you think about this, and it's a great model because it's leveraging assets. It's leveraging community assets and public space, if you will.
Right.
And it's making effective use of really not just the facility, but what's inside of that facility. You know, you think about it. A school's a great example. It's used during the day, but once that school bell rings, it's typically not used that much. So what a great opportunity to have a after-school program, in this case a Boys and Girls Club, come in and have a seamless transition of the kids right from the school day to after school. And now we work hard to make it different so they don't think they're still in school.
Right.
But it's a great partnership. So today we have 1,700 of those types of partnerships across the country with school districts and certainly local schools. And it provides a great cost-effective and efficient way to provide services. So you could really leverage and stretch your financial resources through a shared service model like this and through shared facilities like a school.
Well, hopefully there's some more schools out there listening that want a club, and I'm sure if there's a will, there's a way. Yeah. Let's talk about fundraising, because fundraising is where it's all about. We rely so much on our local donors, as does the club, but we also rely on the national organization to help us out in a pinch or get us started, some startup money. And it's a very challenging environment out there when it comes to fundraising, probably as much so today as it's ever been.
Yeah, you know, it is, and obviously it takes resources to deliver services, programs, pay staff to build those relationships with kids that we've talked about. So it is kind of our number one, always one of our number one challenges as an entity when it comes to the work that we do. So we do work hard to provide different tools, training, and resources to bring staff along and give them the best when it comes to practices and skills in fund development today. And we've been successful. I look at the aggregate, all clubs together, in terms of the national movement and our fundraising capacity. And we've grown tremendously over the last 4 years. We went from $1.5 billion in revenue to just short of $2 billion where we sit today. And that's all driven at the local level. And to get there, certainly the national organization, as I said, provides training. We do provide some resources. We have a program across the country that focuses on government resources, which is, you know, a small piece of it, but it's a piece of it. And then national partnerships that we talked about earlier, corporate or otherwise, that touch down in each of the local communities, providing resources, financial resources, and volunteers in many cases, to help local clubs in their communities. So we come at it a lot of different ways, but we also really encourage every local organization to partner and to, like we talked about with schools, to get creative in terms of leveraging resources and not duplicating services. Take advantage of other opportunities in the community and resources in the community. And then finally, I would say this, a little bit biased, but I think we have the best case and the best return on investment in the country. Business people always like to look at the economics of this. We did an economic impact study a few years ago, University of Michigan Business School, world-renowned when it comes to impact studies, did it for us. And it's almost $10 to 1. For every dollar invested in a Boys and Girls Club, it puts back $10 in that community. So if you just want to look at the economics of it, there's a great point for the case. But then look at the kids. And the return on investment there is so significant. We were talking about our alumni a minute ago, right. Denzel Washington, Jennifer Lopez. You know, we survey our alumni every year, and 54% of them tell us that they wouldn't even be on Earth. They wouldn't be with us if it wasn't for the Boys and Girls Club, because it not only transformed or changed their life, it saved their life. So you think about the ultimate return on investment. Yes, academics, yes, they're healthier, yes, they're going to be better citizens, but it also saves and changes lives.
As you look forward, you know, the Boys and Girls Club, it built itself as the safe place for kids. Yeah. And it's kind of like in the news business, you know, if our credibility is damaged, we don't really have much. I mean, people have to believe us when we tell them something. And safety is such the top priority at the Boys and Girls Club. I know it is here locally, but it's easier said than done. There's so many things out there that are threatening people and kids these days. That must be, do you stay up late at night worrying about that? Because I know many club people do, board members do, that it would only take one really bad incident to really damage the whole apple cart, so to speak.
Well, it is about public trust, to your point, and it's the trust of families, the trust of parents. So it is the bedrock of what we stand for. You go back to the first boys club in 1860, and it was founded on this notion that it's a safe place for, at that time, boys, you know, coming from factory work, frankly, to go and not be in harm's way, but also stay out of trouble, right?
Right.
And that factor is the same today. You know, the highest rate of crime happens in those after school 3 to 6 hours. So, you know, it's still an issue today, but you know, it's part of our DNA. It's the bedrock of what we stand for. And unfortunately today, challenges in society are even greater, as you point out, than they've ever been. You know, technology is our friend, but it's our foe. And it creates other challenges for kids as well when it comes to safety, their own emotional safety as well as physical safety. And yes, you know, our job is to keep kids safe. And so we have to constantly put in the protocols, practices, and processes to make sure kids are safe, because it's changing all the time. So we do have membership, you know, requirements to be a Boys and Girls Clubs. You have to do certain things, and all around safety, facility and otherwise, to make sure kids are kept safe. And then it's constant vigilance when it comes to ensuring that you're following the best practices and protocols inside of that club, staff practices as well as facility. So yes, we have all of those outlined, and all of our local clubs are tasked with following those.
We have about 5 minutes left. I knew this time would fly by. Tell me a little bit about connecting with the millennials. I know we do great with the younger kids, but the older they get, the teens, the young high school kids, really that seems to be a challenge for our clubs, I know, in Montana, is keeping those kids engaged.
Yeah. So, you know, every generation and every group almost of kids and teens that come through our doors is a little different. No, not unusual to what you see in your community or certainly in society today. You know, the millennials are actually getting a little older. And those are actually the ones becoming our staff. I've met a few of them today.
Right.
So I think back to your staff question, you know, the millennial generation actually in many ways is a great generation for us because they tend to be very engaged in giving back. They want to make a difference in their community, particularly in their community and neighborhoods, but also in society. So, you know, the materialism part of the human isn't as great with millennials as we see it. So they're great staff when it comes to our environment. But at the same time, to your point about teens, that is a tough population, whether it's today's teens or the teens of 20 years ago,
Right.
because they vote with their feet. You know, they're mobile. Younger kids typically don't have as much choice. You know, their parent is involved in that decision. But teens, if they're not having a great experience, they're out. So our task and our job, and there's good news in this story, is to make sure teens have a great experience. So you have to do things differently. They don't want to be with the younger kids, so you have to create a different atmosphere and a different space for them. They typically want a different type of interaction with an adult. In fact, that adult should be closer in age to them, so they can relate. And then it's about modern, and technology certainly plays into this, but contemporary experiences and opportunities and access to contemporary experiences. Things like sound and robotics and you know, technology are definitely at the top of the list. So when we do those things right and create the right experience, we do grow in teen numbers. In fact, the last couple of years, we've seen growth in our number of teen members at Boys and Girls Clubs across the country. And I know right here in Billings, that's one of the initiatives that your board, as well as Brian and his staff team, are working to, you know, fortify so that more teen members become part of the Boys and Girls Club.
You're right, there is some good news in there.
Yeah.
You're scheduled to give speak at a breakfast here tomorrow called The State of Youth. Yeah. Can you share some of your insights you have already here this afternoon? But what are you going to touch on? What do we need to focus on there?
Well, tomorrow I'll also focus a little bit more and a deeper look at really the ecosystem and how fragile it is for kids in America today. I'll talk a little bit about this generation that we just spoke of. It's, in fact, the first generation in our nation's history that stands not to do as well as their parents have done, academically, economically, and health. They're not going to earn as much, they're not going to be as educated, and they're not going to live as long. So this creates a big challenge, not just for us at Boys and Girls Clubs, but for our country. I'll also talk a little bit about the rate of poverty in this nation and where we stand as a country. Also where we stand when it comes to kids that are incarcerated and really incarceration in this country. And you know, the keynote there is we have 5% of the world's population, but 25% of the world's prison population. We're the greatest nation on earth. So we've got challenges here that we all need to wrestle with. So I'm going to talk a little bit about that, but then I'm going to give you the silver lining inside of those clouds, which we've just spent 25 minutes talking about, and why Boys and Girls Clubs is so important more than ever today, and how we're part of, or the catalyst to, some of those solutions.
So I'm going to ask you finally, with the last minute, what your crystal ball looks like for the Boys and Girls Club. You're a very positive person. You come across that way, so I'm expecting you to say you're very optimistic.
I am bully. I am optimistic not only about Boys and Girls Clubs, but about America. This is a great country, and certainly we've been part of the fabric of this nation for a long time. We've been advancing. Our mission has been advancing. The number of kids and teens we serve every day is growing. So inside of that, yes, I'm very optimistic about our future because we make a difference. We are creating great futures. And what we've known for 157 years is the experience matters, the adults that are building these relationships matters. Now we can prove it. So I am very optimistic about our work and our mission in front of us and where we're headed. And I promise you, the next time I'm back in Billings, we'll be talking about a tremendous advancement over the last 4 or 5 years.
Jim, thanks so much for being here.
Thank you.
And sharing
Thanks for having
your mission
me.
and your passion for the Boys and Girls Club and the youth of America. I appreciate it. And I thank you for joining us here on Face the State. Do have a great week, and we'll talk to you again soon.
You've been watching Face the State, a presentation of MTN, the Montana Television Network.